Well, it's been quite a time since my last upload to this series of diary entrances concerning my do-it-yourself modular synthesizer. The reasons for this delay, well, I've told you in my last upload, not in this series, but in my last upload on this channel called What Has Happened to Rolf Karsten. Not only bad things, indeed, not bad things at all, I think, but go there and listen if you are interested and watch. Back to the synthesizer. The last module I tried to produce knobs of my own because I didn't want to spend money for the knobs. I have to save money a little bit, to be a little bit cautious about spending money, I told you. But the knobs I produced there were too big and not at all like I thought them to be. But fortunately, I found this. Two nice sticks. The corrugated one is my favorite, and I found both in a heap of garbage in the street. Unbelievable. Strange what people throw away. Well, let me produce some smaller and nicer knobs then. And see and look, it looks better than before. And the smaller diameter serves better as well. I should find me some smaller screws though. After my experience with the sticks, these little treasures from the garbage in the street, I have started to be more attentive on my trips through the town. This heedfulness, as well as telling some people I'd like to have some old and broken electronic equipment, brought me a bunch of these things to recycle. And I've got a lot of interesting and useful electronic parts for free now. And I'll continue rescuing these things from getting destroyed. I'll save a lot of money, which I had to spend for electronic parts otherwise. And it's fun to desolder these parts. But now for the next module. The actual one now is CV mixer plus attenuators. The CV mixer shall have 4 inputs and 2 outputs, one of which shall be equipped with an additional attenuator for the sum of all 4 signals, and it shall be the inverted sum, whereas the other output won't have an additional attenuator, but is equipped with an additional operational amp to turn the inverted sum into a non-inverted one. If I want to attenuate this non-inverted sum later, well, I can patch it through one of the separate attenuators anyway. One of the 2 separate attenuators works linear, the other one logarithmical. It's suitable for audio signals as well that way. After laying out and producing the front panel, it's time to turn to the electronics. Laying out the Velo board shows it again. There are going to be a lot of cables between the board and the front panel. I think I'll try to arrange the front panel elements, the potentiometers and the jacks mainly, differently with the next module. I should solder them directly to the Velo board, if possible, or the PCB. But for now, I leave it as it is with this current CV mixer module. All right, it's soldering time again, and yes, there are too many cables around. It's very likely I make some mistakes with all of these cable connections. Well, we will see. Testing time. Testing time before I make the knobs and before I install the module, and I haven't made a mistake. Not any. Astonishingly, but great. Everything works as it should. As I don't have a lot of modulators in my do-it-yourself modular by now, I use 2 sequencers, one from my keystep and additionally my 8S sequencer module, plus the LFO from my neutron, and mix these signals together to modulate the frequency of neutron's oscillator 1. It gives me some interesting chaotic kinds of melodies. All right. Oh yes, one thing. To know how deep I must drill to make the potentiometers fit in the knobs, I've wrapped some adhesive tape around the drill. A colored one would be better, but I haven't got any right now. And now it's time to let you hear some of these chaotic sounds. Well, let me mess around a bit and show you that this CV mixer module really works. Right now the patch is like follows. Here this gold jack comes from the 8S sequencer, and the black one here comes from the Newton's LFO. So let me turn down the sequencer now. Alright, now it's only the LFO. Okay. Let me turn the sequencer up again. Yeah. Of course, I'm fighting at the moment with the voltage coming from the sequencer. The voltage range of LFO and frequencer and sequencer are not the same. Sure not. So I will have to use this linear attenuator a bit. Now I'm attenuating the voltage coming from the sequencer here. Even the sum, what is identical to the sequencer signal at the moment, because I have turned down the LFO, I can even, and now nearly nothing comes through. Let's put the attenuator higher again. And now at the LFO, okay, this was fast, simple patching. Let's try the next one. Now, okay, here we have a little bit larger patch, kind of larger patch, modulating the filter frequency as well as the filter resonance. The modulation sources are the same. Here, the gold one comes from the sequencer, with, clocked by this clock 1 unit, and the black one comes from the LFO here. But the output of the sum of the both modulating signals goes at first. Let's turn it down the frequency a bit. At first to my buffered multiple, and from there this black jack here goes to the frequency, or the filter's frequency, frequency, the modulating the filter's frequency, and the gold output here goes to the filter's resonance. Well, let me play around a little bit. At first here at the multiple, I turn up the resonance, the modulation of the resonance, and turn down the modulation of the filter's frequency. Now only the LFO, and now only the sequencer. Okay, and now the same, I turn down the modulation of the resonance, and turn up the modulation of the filter's frequency. Yeah, I could fine-tune this resonance, of course, by setting the sequencer. And now I fade in the resonance aspect of the LFO and fade down the signal from the sequencer. All right, it works, and I think I may well produce a video only messing around with these little modules I have here. My next step is going into voltage control things. Probably a voltage control amplifier and voltage control filter. I'm learning right now different ways to voltage control parameters. You know, these modules here are not voltage controlled, and well, there is a lot of space up here, in my case, for filling it up with voltage controlled modules. But at first I have still to learn a bit about it.